So what resonates? Dolly, what do you think?
Every woman can relate to it, and every man, really. I think women love it because I think we all know that there's somebody out there that could turn the head of the person that you love. I think everybody has that fear, and it happens all the time. But every now and then, I look at him sleeping in that lazy boy chair, and I think, where's Jolene when I need her? You have him now. Come get him.
Too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
That's the way Dolly Parton describes why one of her most famous songs, Jolene, has stuck out so much. It's been recorded by 30 other artists in 6 languages. Another major name in the industry, Beyonce, recently took it on. It was part of her recent country album. The world is split over which version they prefer. Joy Behar, one of the hosts of the talk show The View, has a clear favorite. The reasons behind her choice may surprise you. Keep watching as Joy Behar speaks her mind about quote-unquote anti-feminist Dolly Parton. The Joy Behar-Dolly Parton controversy. Dolly Parton loves to write songs, and she also loves when others take them and do them justice. Having Beyonce take on one of her signature tracks, Jolene, was once one of her biggest dreams.
I would just love to hear Jolene done in just a big way, kind of like how Whitney did my I Will Always Love You, just someone that can take my little songs and make them like powerhouse.
The dream recently came true when Beyonce covered it on her Cowboy Carter album. She kept the tune similar but transformed the lyrics. It went from a song about begging a woman not to take your man to a powerful stance that she couldn't even if she tried to. Joy Behar of The View said she preferred Queen Bee's version with the altered lyrics. That's just a matter of opinion. What she said next on The View, Beyond the Table podcast was much more shocking. Quote, I just think the original thing with Dolly Parton is so, anti-feminist. It's worrying about some good-looking woman taking your man. If it's so easy to take your man, then take him. Beyonce says, if you take my man, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Joy remembers that the two women had discussed the topic of feminism before on The View. Quote, I said to her, are you a feminist? And she said, I don't think so. Then I said, well, do you believe women should get paid the same amount of money as a man? She said, yes. And I said, well, then you're a feminist. Then she said, well, then I guess I am. There doesn't seem to be any ill will between the women. Joy finished that conversation about anti-feminism by saying that Dolly was the best. She believes she's been dragged into this criticism by TMZ, who asked her if she said anything negative about the quote-unquote national treasure that is Dolly Parton. She said she didn't mean anything against the singer herself. She even emphasized her previous feminist material, such as the film 9 to 5. It was primarily the song that bothered her. She also knows it was allegedly inspired by an incident where a bank teller started hitting on Dolly's husband. Dolly's opinion. Dolly has worked on many projects that could be considered feminist. That includes her 1980 film 9 to 5. The theme song became a working woman's anthem. Her song Just Because I'm a Woman, released in 1968, was all about the double standards women face in the world. Dolly set the record straight on how she feels about the term feminism on a podcast called Dolly Parton's America. Accepting a label like that depends on what it means to a person. She said, quote, I must be a feminist if being a feminist means I'm all for women, but I don't feel I have to march, hold up a sign, or label myself. I think the way I've conducted my life and my business and myself speaks for itself. I don't think of it as being feminist. She doesn't want to adopt the label because to her, it comes with the connotation of I hate all men. She doesn't want to crucify an entire group of people as a result of a few bad apples. Dolly is also not a fan of getting into politics in any way. She has personal views, but knows that taking any stance could cost her half of her audience. Even her own family fights at the table over differences of opinion, and she's sick of it. Her goal isn't to separate, but to unify. As she says, quote, I just try to be a decent human being, try to use love as my great tool and weapon. I try to leave my heart, my eyes, my ears open, and my mouth closed when I know it's not the right thing to be doing. How she became a national treasure. This isn't the first time Dolly's been criticized. She modeled her look after the town tramp from her childhood. That's bound to turn a few eyes. Her writing and singing ability allowed everyone to look past her shiny costumes and big hair. The world immediately knew she had talent. It was her business skills that made her more than a singer, but a rich and profitable icon. She managed to pass through a male-dominated world. She grew up with brothers and uncles and said, quote, "I always knew how to maneuver in a crowd of men. I never slept with anybody to get ahead because to me, it wouldn't be worth it. That don't usually work in the long haul either." Dolly considers herself, quote, "as strong as a boy." She's always been able to push men off if need be. This was true whether she was facing sexual harassment or if they were bringing her career down. That strength helped her create a massive empire worth over $500 million. It includes her theme park, Dollywood, and the 3,000 songs she's written, about 1,000 of which have been recorded and released. She's used that money to give back to the less fortunate. Her famous Imagination Library, which has given over 218 million books to children around the world. Dolly's friend Reba responds. Reba is another one of the biggest female names in country music. She and Dolly have been friends for more than 40 years. Their bond began when they played together at the Grand Ole Opry in 1977. They both love gospel music and mentoring future stars. They have successful acting careers and have fought through adversity on the way to success. They also help each other in times of trouble during tours by sharing crew members. Reba says Dolly has always been her idol and someone she's looked up to. They've worked together on TV but have seldom sung together. There was one beautiful joint performance of a cheating song called Does He Love You in October 2021. Dolly discussed the process of filming the music video in a behind-the-scenes segment.
We didn't even realize we had not done a duet. We've often talked about it, but we've performed on different shows together. We've sang with other people, and it was, what? We need to do a duet. It's such a great song to start with, such a well-written song and such a good subject. And so I thought this time I get to be the Jolene.
What does Reba think about Joy Behar's comments about her friend? She tried to stay out of the controversy. When asked what she thought about Beyonce going under the country scene, she said it meant, quote, lots of great things for the industry. When asked which version of Jolene she preferred, she simply said it was a beautiful day and shut the door in the interviewer's face. Another Joy Behar controversy. Joy is no stranger to controversy. A woman who goes by Jehalis made a TikTok where she claimed that hot women are never hired on SNL. Co-host Whoopi Goldberg introduced the topic but refused to debate about it. She tossed it over to Joy, and that was where the controversy began. Her response, in her own words, was, first of all, it's a comedy show, not a beauty pageant. It's not for men to ogle the women trying to get a laugh. She believes attractiveness can interfere with comedy and that it's nothing but a distraction. She also says it explains why she doesn't think a model-level beauty like Giselle is funny. She also had criticism for the men on SNL. She doesn't believe the show ever hired any hot men. John Belushi and Chris Farley weren't her quote-unquote ideal dates. Co-host Alyssa Farah Griffin joined in. She agreed there's no Beyoncés or Brad Pitts on SNL because the show is focused on humor. She even mentioned how Jacob Elordi recently hosted, and every sketch was about how attractive he was. Current SNL members fired back. Sarah Sherman sarcastically wrote on Twitter, quote, just found out I'm not hot. Please give me and my family space to grieve privately and uglily in this time. This long string of controversies is unlikely to affect the career of a national treasure like Dolly or Beyonce, but will it affect Joy Behar? That's yet to be seen. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think anyone in Hollywood can have a spotless reputation? Let us know in the comment section below.